All right, here we go. So welcome. My name's Tasha. We're here to talk about the C word, closing, and the S word, sales, today. So let me just run you through what we're going to talk about, and then I'll let Ted, I'm sure he's spoken with each of you, but address why the heck are we even doing this. So what we'll start off with, we'll just talk about, we need to have an honest conversation about what's hard about selling and what's hard about this concept of closing. So we can make sure we cover that today. I will tell you, probably wondering who the heck is this Tasha person and why is she qualified to say anything about anything. So I'll explain that a little bit. The truth is I'm not, but that's what's helpful. And we'll talk about just an overview, some big picture concepts on closing, and then I'm going to give you 5, I don't know what to call them, like keys or areas or whatever, to make closing an enjoyable process for you and your customer. Have you guys ever been on a teaser webinar before? You guys know what those are? Mm-hmm. Teaser webinars are where they run you an ad and they promise to be, this free training is going to be the answer to all your problems. They give you like nothing real that you can do unless you spend $2,000. Have you guys ever been on those?
Yes.
I've been on those and I dislike those very, very, very much. So you will get 1 hour of my best content, which you will be able to use right away to make sales, okay? We will explain our full program, right? Because I cannot teach you everything I've learned in my sales career in 1 hour, and you'll be tempted to ask me the questions on all the other pieces. We just won't likely have time. I'll answer as many questions as I have because I dislike that format so much. But we will be showing you our core program at the end. You do not have to enroll in it. You can use this information today, make sales right away, but if you'd like to, we want to make sure to invite you. Does that sound like a fair deal? Okay, cool. So that's what we're going to go over today. Ted, would you like to maybe just share with your team why you wanted to set this up for them?
Sure. So a lot of you guys know that, oh, I'm getting a request to do something here. Oh, Jamie came to the rescue.
We love training kids. We train a lot of kids on our stuff.
We do. So anyways, so the closing is often the most challenging part of any class because that's kind of the point where you transition from teaching and educating, which is the fun part, into the part where you got to, sell something. You're going to try to convince somebody to separate, up to a few $100 of their own money to buy what you just told them all about. And that's a very, very challenging thing for a lot of us to do. It's even, it's a tough mindset thing for a lot of us to adjust to. And one thing that Jamie and I want to do as we continue to grow and to support you guys is to expose you to as many trainings as possible that are actually pretty exclusive to just our team. Tasha doesn't necessarily meet with everybody. We heard about Tasha kind of through the vias. We saw that podcast that I posted in the event a few days ago. And I got on her website and I started poking around and I pretty much just got lost in the free knowledge that she was putting out there. I had to actually kind of stop myself and I just kept getting, just learning. There's just free. She's just giving out all this great content. I was like, I'm just going to contact Tasha, see if she'll do kind of a intro training, all this for you guys. And then after this is done, I encourage you to save the recording link in a very, very safe place. Go to her website and just go learn. It's a great tool. And Tasha really knows her stuff. There's a lot of people, we're on, the Golds and Platinums Mastermind group on Facebook. A lot of people speak very highly of Tasha and her sales training program, which we're all going to get a little glimpse of today. So with that, Jamie, do you want to add anything?
No, just so on that Golds page, this question comes up all the time. How do I help my leaders close better? How do I close better? And Tasha's name comes up every single time. So we are so honored to have you, Tasha. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Well, we love doing this. We are so grateful to be associated with such an amazing company, which I'll tell you a little bit about how I got into doTERRA in a little bit, which is kind of funny. It's a funny story. So thank you guys for hosting this. Thank you guys for showing up. Yeah, let's just dig in. Let's just start. Let's talk about what stinks, what's hard about making sales. Can we do that? Who's going to be the brave person that will actually admit that it's hard? Okay, Jamie. Okay. All right, good. And the rest of you lying or eating. That's cool. So what is hard about this concept of closing or sales? Let's just start with the discussion.
So feeling salesy.
Okay, what does salesy mean to you? It's Jamie, right?
Yeah, just like the used car salesman or the door-to-door guys who just don't give up. It gets annoying, and I don't think any of us want to be annoying or pushy.
Yeah. Pushy, yeah. Annoying.
Feeling like you're pressuring them to do something that maybe they don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we think it's great.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
want
that's
them to
hard.
think I'm being fake or that all I want is their money. But I don't really care about them.
So that they'll interpret you that way?
Yeah.
Okay. So they will think I'm a jerk. Is that a fair summarization? They will they
I
think
think
I
I want to.
your motives.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a good one. I mean, it's not a good one, but it's good insight.
For me, there's always that awkward silence, right? So you finish teaching the class, you cover, the options to buy, you talk about the best kits, and then you're done. And then it's like, now what do I do?
What do I say? Who else struggles with what to say? All right. Me too. My transition today will be super awkward. What? Wait for it. Wait for it. We lean into awkward at Emerge. Because what choice do we have, right? Like, if we're going to be awkward, we're going to be awkward. Might as well just own it. Okay, so Anna, by knowing what kind of close is best for each customer, what do you mean by that? Can you just elaborate on it in the chat a little bit? What else is hard about, do you guys like not want to be that network marketer?
Also, just the fear of no, like fear of them saying no, I don't want anything to do with that. Just kind of.
Yeah, why is that scary?
What's that?
Why is that so scary?
I just think none of us want any negative reaction for what we are trying to offer.
Yeah.
Because we are just trying to help.
It kind of goes back to what Trisha was saying earlier. Like, we know it's so good. How could you not get this? Like, yeah. Okay, good. I think that's a pretty good. So here's what I wrote down. Tell me if I got everything. We don't want to feel salesy. We don't want to come across as the typical used car salesman person. We don't want to be pushy or annoying. We don't want to pressure people into doing something they don't want to do. We don't want them to think that we have impure motives. We're awkward. We don't know what to say at the end. We don't want to be known as that network marketer, and we're just afraid of no's, and it makes us uncomfortable. Is that a pretty good list? Mm-hmm. Were there any that I missed? Okay, so Anna put caters to the person's personality type. So that's advanced technique. Okay. We can do that. Cool. Anna knows her stuff. Anna has a sales background, doesn't she? No, I can do personality types. I'm game. I think what Anna's talking about is we all know that people make decisions differently. So how do you account for that, right? And so at the crux of that, it's not knowing if they actually need more time or if they're blowing us off. Right? Do they actually need to talk to their husband, or are they just pretending that because it's a safe thing to say? So would it be fair to say that one of the challenges is just like kind of even knowing what's the truth about what customers are saying?
Yeah, like what's a legitimate excuse? Like you always hear, I don't have money. You hear that a lot. But then 2 days later, they're showing off their new phone that they just bought, or the new car they got, or then they just signed up to be a LuLaRoe consultant or something and dropped $7,000 on that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think it's the crux of what is even happening right now, right? Like, yeah, knowing what's going on. Okay, cool. I think that's a really good list, and I'm hoping that we can resolve those today. And I think, Anna, what you'll see is in the key areas that we talk about today, we will address each decision maker kind of from a global level. It's built for each type of decision maker. And I don't know which decision-making model you're referring to, but we have a couple that we built into our sales presentation when we talk about proactive closing. So we will cover that as well. We'll take the hard ones. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about my background, because who the heck is this Tasha person, right? Like, all I know about is like Eric Worre and those guys. So where'd this person show up from? So I'm gonna, full disclosure, I'm not an active doTERRA wellness advocate. Who here on the call has sold more than 2 kits? Okay, so you guys have sold more kits than I have. So I am not an active wellness advocate. I'm a doTERRA customer. And so this changes the scope from which we do all of our training. So here's how I got into this mess. Do you guys ever have you heard of Cutco knives? Okay, so I was that kid. So when I was in college, I was selling knives, and then when I graduated, I became a district manager. So I was the person, my job was to teach 18-year-olds how to sell $1,000 sets of knives to housewives while their husbands were home, and leave with 15 to 20 names of their friends and family members for their future appointments. So that's what I grew up doing in my early 20s. And so my personal sales over 120,000, 100% referral business, office sales over 1.2 million. So we sold a lot of knives. Then I thought it would be a good idea to get a real job. So I went into corporate America as a recruiting manager. So I did sales training, sales management, all that, right? So I have spent the past, oh my gosh, it's going to be 17 years soon. My spiel says 16 years selling or teaching people how to sell stuff. And I was a really bad salesperson. I couldn't even sell my mom knives. And so that's important, because people that are really, really good at something, it's pretty hard for them to teach it, right? So I was really, really not good at sales, which makes it a little bit easier for me to teach how to do it. And so about 1.5 years ago, I'd been in my role for 9 years, and I was like, I got to do something different. So I thought it would be a great idea to maybe start my own sales training business. So I was kind of tinkering with a website and a podcast, my first 5 episodes. And my friend Catherine came up to me. Our kids do karate together. And Catherine nervously comes up to me, I feel like she did this, and hands me a flyer to her class. Will you come to this class? And so I look at him like, oh, you're selling stuff. So I snarkily replied, I will come to your class if you will listen to my podcast, because you were selling stuff. So we made the deal, and so I went to her class. She listened to my first few podcasts, and she said, okay, this sounds good. I think I want to hire you. And I was like, hire me? I don't even know what that looks like. So I went to the class knowing that I was going to start coaching Catherine on the side while I was doing my corporate job. So I went to the class. Can I level with you guys? It was really bad. And I have her permission to tell this story. Don't worry. I was the only customer who showed up to the class, and there were 3 oil reps. Okay, so there was Catherine, obviously her upline, and obviously Catherine's new builder. And so I'm coming in for my class, right, where I'm thinking there's going to be people there, right, and I'm the only person. So all 3 of them swarm me. First thing they do is show me the Zyto scan while we were waiting to see if other people were going to come. Then we played bingo. Essential oil bingo. I never heard of an essential oil in my life. Now, Catherine's word was important to me. And so I did end up buying a bottle of Serenity and a bottle of Deep Blue Rub, and I paid the $35 enrollment fee. Ouch, right? And so I was like, okay, cool. So, but right, I'm a salesperson. So we ended up winning the drawing that night. Who here has had a drawing for one person? Okay. So we won the drawing that night, and went home with a breathe stick. And did you guys know that that breathe stick is awesome? So my daughter, who was on Daily Singular, used that breathe stick and stopped coughing. And I was like, this is good stuff. So I show up to work on Monday, and guess what I start doing? Guys, I got some hippie oils this weekend. They're like, you got hippie oils? I said, yes, they're awesome. Want me to order you some? Want me to order you some? Want me to order you some? So I placed between then and my wellness consult with Catherine, who she did a good job in a lot of areas. Just the class was overwhelming, right? And you guys know that, right? You see it on their faces, the customers' faces. So I placed like a $250 or $300 one-time order. And I bought a family essentials kit because I figured out that's what I needed. I started coaching Catherine. She went from making $50 a month for the last 2 years straight to making $450 that next month. So then her sponsor paid attention, and I started coaching her. And when she enrolled 12 people in 1 month, her sponsor paid attention. Her sponsor happened to be paid attention, and she is a Blue Diamond. And last October, we trained her silvers and above on how to sell. And in September, they had about 390 enrollments. And in October, they had almost 800 enrollments. And so that's when her sponsor, Angela Villa, caught attention. And so that's kind of how now we got to this point where we just can't even. We've been busy, right? That's the official term, Kristen. We can't even. So that's kind of how this all came about. And I think it's important that I explain that because I want you to understand the perspective from which we train and we talk about sales. I do not represent your upline. I benefit in zero way if you make sales, right? I don't qualify for bonus pools. I'm only a manager. But I come from the place of your customer who is begging you, for the love of God, please sell me a kit. Okay, so here's the first thing to write down in your notes if you're taking notes. The customer's first. My team is second. And me and my ego comes third. Who benefits the most from owning a kit? Or from the sale of a kit? Excuse me.
The customer.
I loaded that question. Dang it. Yeah. The customer, right? But they actually need the kit, right? So I bought Serenity and Deep Blue. So if my 6-year-old was puking in the middle of the night, does that help me? Does it help me to be educated on guard and know it exists? But if all I am is educated, does that help me? What do I actually need?
The oil.
I actually need it. I need a kit on my dresser, right? So when we think about this selling thing, do you guys believe in, who here believes in the life-changing properties of your product? Okay, then you have an ethical obligation to learn how to sell well. Because does what we say matter? Right? But we don't want to sell, right? Selling's icky. And so then what do? You say, it's not selling, it's sharing. And then you wonder, like, imagine this. You tell your kids, share your toy with your friend, okay, and then you say, after they played with it 3 or 4 times, make sure you charge them. And we wonder why we have a hard time converting and asking for the order, right? So we say we don't want to sell. I will not sell. And so we run away from sales, right? Okay, most of you guys are probably resistant even to show up to this because it was called the closing webinar, right? And so we don't want to sell. And so what do? We say, I will not learn how to sell. So instead, I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to follow up. I want to ask you guys, is there anything more high pressure and pushy than talking about yourself and following up until they buy or die? Is there anything more high pressure and pushy than those two things? So what have we become?
Yeah, that salesperson.
We become that salesperson. By saying, I do not want to learn how to sell. I am not in sales. We've become the person we didn't want to become. Have you guys ever been served by a great salesperson? A really good one. How do you feel?
Motivated.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, I just said motivated.
Motivated?
You buy it.
Yeah, you're excited? Ted, what about you? When you've been served by a great salesperson, how do you feel?
Feel like I just got the best deal possible for my money.
Yeah. Probably you feel listened to. Probably excited about the future. And it's because of this, a great salesperson is a pure joy to work with. And do you ever feel when you're with a great salesperson, you still walk away and you're like, that was a good salesperson, but do you feel bad about it? It's the bad ones. It's the untrained ones. It's the ones that don't learn how to sell that make you feel that way, right? Because they just talk and talk and talk and follow up until you die, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid. What do you guys think about that? I see something's happening in Emma's brain.
I was going to say following up over and over is exhausting.
Yeah. It is. So it's called, there's a distinction, what we call proactive versus reactive closing. So when most people, when they think about closing, it's too late. It's reactive approaches. So have you guys heard about, you've heard obviously follow up, right? You guys have heard that. And so we think that's what closing is. And as Jamie mentioned, no one likes to do that. And it doesn't actually help our business when we have to follow up with someone for 6 months and make a sale. Because then we say, hey, cool. So you guys have had that, right? Where you followed up for a long time and they finally bought. And you say, hey, want to do the business? And they're like, hold on. You want me to call someone for 6 months, right? First, I'm going to give them some product that I pay for. Then I'm going to call them for 6 months. Then they're going to make $22. Sounds awesome. Right? And then we wonder why we have a recruiting problem. Right? Is this starting to make sense? So it's reactive, or like overcoming objections. You guys have heard that? Okay. So it's like, come on, Frappuccino a day? You could totally afford it, right? They say they can't afford it, and you're trying to explain how they can't afford it. Who likes doing that? No one, right? It's kind of gross. So we don't teach any of those things. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay, cool. So we teach proactive closing. So proactive closing, don't we already know what they're going to say? So let's make a list right now. What are all the reasons customers don't buy? Let's make a list.
Can't afford it.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to work.
Okay. What else?
I actually had one person tell me that they don't mix business with friends.
Okay.
Have to ask permission first.
Husband?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have time.
What do you mean? Time to like what?
They just don't have the time to put into it.
Yeah, time to learn how to use them. Yeah, that's a good one. What else? I'm not interested, Anna says.
When they think that they have part of the business just to use the oils. They think by buying it from me, that automatically means that they have to sell it too.
Yep. MLM baggage from someone else. Most of this stuff, like that one, has nothing to do with you, does it? But it's there. Okay, so I'm just going to write MLM baggage. Fair? Okay, what else? Has anyone ever heard I need to think about it? What about I need to do research?
Oh, yeah.
I need to digest all the information you just gave me because I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I wrote down. Can't afford it. Don't think it's going to work. I don't mix business with friends. Need to talk to my husband. I don't have time to learn how to use it. Not interested. I might need to sell stuff, just MLM baggage in general. Network marketers, they can be the worst, right? Not you guys, just the other ones. Think about it. I need to think about it. I need to research, and I have to digest all this information. Did I miss anything? No? Okay, good. So what if instead of waiting for those, right, we have a saying at Emerge, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me every day for my career, shame on me. So we already know these are going to come up, right? So what if we just prepared for them ahead of time? And we just built our presentation so that these didn't come up anymore. Would that be cool? So what if instead of having to follow up forever, out of every 10 people we met, 6 to 8 of them bought on the first appointment? And you just didn't follow up with anyone. Would you guys love your business a little bit more?
Oh, yeah.
So our students, that's the rate at which they make sales. So if you were to meet with 10 people, 6 to 8 of them would buy stuff. So shall we talk about how to do that?
Let's do it.
What do you guys think? Before we do that, what's going through your mind right now? What do you think about this whole selling thing? Or what aha moments have you had? Or any? Hopefully something.
Just trying to pick one.
My aha moment is like how you said, if it takes you 6 months to follow up and then you expect that person to do the business, how scary that sounds to them.
Yeah.
Like I never made that connection before.
Cool. Good. Good. What else?
I like the bit about we have an ethical obligation to sell well.
Yeah. For our sake, for us poor customers, we are lazy. You know that, right? And we make bad decisions. So you have to save us from ourselves. Okay, so let's talk about how to do that. So first area, and I'm going to spend more time on the first area. The next one I'm going to breeze through, but I want to spend a lot of time on this. First one is set up an appointment. So no more selling on the fly. So what is selling on the fly? So you go to your kid's sporting event or your friend's party, and you're wearing your doTERRA hat and your doTERRA backpack and your doTERRA keychain. And somebody asks you about doTERRA. What luck? Then what do? Be honest.
You vomit a ton of information on them that they weren't asking for.
Let me tell you how awesome this is. And then what happens to their face?
They regret even talking to you.
And then what do?
Clam up.
Cry.
Clam up, cry. Just come to a class. And they're like, okay, send me the information. And then what do? I'll follow up. And then you follow up and follow up and follow up. Okay. So does that work?
Not very often.
Right. Okay. And the reason it doesn't work is that customer in a place where they can make a decision about your product? No. And so what we want to do is we want to give them the space to be able to make a decision about the product. So let's say you're at your friend's wedding or your sister's wedding or something, and your doTERRA business is thriving. You're super pumped. And it's so busy you need to hire a virtual assistant. Would that feel pretty awesome, guys? But still kind of stressful, right? How the heck do you write a contract for a virtual assistant? So you don't sleep the night before because you're not sure how you're going to do this. And you go to the party or the wedding, and what luck? You meet a contracts lawyer. Now, does this contract lawyer then tell you everything he or she knows about contracts? Why not?
Because it's not the time and place. And if it's a wedding, everybody's probably half drunk anyways.
Totally. Right? What does the contracts lawyer do?
Sets an appointment up or says, call my secretary.
Yeah, sets up an appointment. And who does that benefit the most?
Them.
You, actually, right?
I think you, right? Like, it benefits them by proxy of benefiting you, right? So it helps you. And why does it help you, Jamie?
Because now it's kind of in my court. It's when I can meet, when I'm available, when it's best for me.
Yeah. So that way you have, well, first it's like consent, right? And second, it's you're going to be in a space where you can actually absorb that info. And that makes a big difference, doesn't it? And so what we want to do is we want to set up appointments versus selling on the fly. So what would you even say, right? So let's say essential oils come up, and I'm just going to say it, and then Kristen's going to put it in the chat so that, so you guys can copy it down. But I'm just going to say it right now first, okay? Just I want you to hear it. So we're talking, and I say, okay, well, you know what? Usually what I do is set up an appointment. We would go over your health goals and concerns, a little bit about the company and most popular kits. My part takes about half an hour. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, of course, I'll help you order it. Is that something you'd be open to, Ted?
Sign me up.
Okay. How do you think most people would respond to that?
My guess is very positively because there's no commitment. It's just come and learn with the option to buy.
Yeah.
More willing to take that next step forward.
Totally. Well, and do customers like surprises?
No.
Right. What are they worried about when they talk to a network marketer? It's okay to talk about that here, right?
Join my team.
Join my team.
Make more sales.
Right? What else are people afraid of when they talk to a network marketer? How long am I going to be there? What are we even going to do? Right? Are they going to make me buy something? And so what if we just told them the truth? We're going to talk about this, this, and this. Here's how long my part will take. Are you going to hold a gun to their head? No, we know that you don't even want to ask them to buy. Let's be real, right? So, and you're not going to say, I'm not going to ask you to buy something. That's not true, is it? Okay. The true statement is you don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, I'll help you order it. Right? And we'll just ask, is that something you're open to? Most people will say yes. Probably like 3 out of 4 people will say yes. And the one person that doesn't, well, then what do we do?
Move on.
Yeah, you know where to find me if you ever change your mind. And that's it. Now, in the scope of this training we're going to talk about today, I'm going to talk mostly about this one-on-one appointment, but everything can be adapted to classes.
So I guess, Tasha, let me know if I'm jumping the gun here. So when they say, is this something you'd be open to? They say yes. Is that like when you pull out your appointment book and say, when are you free?
Ish. We have much better verbiage for that, but for the purpose of the free webinar, yes. You would give them a choice of 2 times. No one's ever free. Right? If you ask, when are you free? Right? So you would say something like, okay, well, we can meet at this time or this time. Which one works better for you? They'll just pick the one that's better for them. Right? We'll set up an appointment. And, what's cool about this is if you meet someone out in the world, right, instead of selling on the fly, you can meet with them today. Today's Monday, right? You meet with them today, or you could schedule an appointment today for tomorrow, right? They place an order that day. When will they get their kit? Saturday? How awesome is that? Who does that benefit to have their kit on Saturday?
Them.
Totally. And back to Jamie's point, if that's how fast sales are made and you ask them, Would you like to learn about how to earn money selling this stuff? You think they might think a little bit more on that? We call it accidental recruiting. We have a hashtag, accidental recruiting. And then you freak out because you haven't gotten to those modules yet. That's why we call it the OMG conversation. OMG, they actually want to learn about doing this. Okay, so that's how to set up appointments. I do think that this is a good space to talk about sampling. So, does sampling work as a sales strategy?
Sometimes.
Sometimes I see no's, I see yeses, I see, is it okay to say anything negative about sampling in this space?
It gets expensive.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm not the upline, so I'm just going to say it. It's risky, isn't it? Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. So how about we'll just talk about the 4 scenarios that come up with sampling. You tell me what happens in these scenarios. Okay? Scenario number 1. Have you guys ever given out a sample and they've never tried it?
Yeah.
Okay, and how does that feel?
Like a waste of time and money.
Yeah. Did you try it now? How about now? Okay, call back in a couple days. Okay, how about now? Did you try it now? How about now? Right? So awkward. Okay, so that's scenario number 1. Can we agree that that's not a great scenario? Okay. Scenario number 2 is I have a cold. What luck, your friend has a cold. Now's your chance. Oh, come on, I know you thought it. Okay. So I have a cold, and so you give me, what would you give me a sample of?
Breathe.
Breathe. Breathe is good stuff, right? And so you give me Breathe. Now, I've never used essential oils. So do I only use Breathe?
No.
What do I do?
They'll
What?
mix other stuff.
Yeah, I put that Breathe in my vapor rub and I rub it everywhere. Right? And then I take my NyQuil and my DayQuil, and because I got to get rid of this thing, I got to get back to work. And then you call me and you say, Tasha, you're sounding like you're feeling better. And I say, I am. And then what do you say?
That Breathe must have worked.
And what do I say?
Well, I don't know because I used 100 different things at the same time.
And then what do you do?
Great.
Awkward, right? Okay, so can we agree that's also not a great scenario? Okay, scenario number 3, I use the Breathe and I love it. Right? So you call me, sounds like you're feeling better, Tasha. I say, I'm feeling better. This stuff is amazing. Who's had that happen? Okay, great. And then what do I ask you next?
Do you want to sign up?
Well, the customer, what do I ask?
Oh.
Yeah, you're one question ahead. Perfect.
Oh, how do I get the stuff?
Yeah. How do I get the stuff? How much is it? And then what do you say?
Well, let me tell you.
And then what do you tell them?
The long spiel.
It could be, I mean, it depends. Do you want to get it wholesale or retail, or it's cheaper in a kit? And I'm just like, dude, just tell me how much this is. And then you're like, $52. Right? Because you put in the $35. I don't know how much is Breathe actually?
20.
It's like 20 something.
20 something plus the 35, right? So you're like 50, is it 52 right? I don't know if it's right or not. Something like that, right? And then, okay, so $20, so $55. $55. And then what do I say?
I'll think about it.
Like DayQuil's some good stuff for $6, right? And then that's not a great scenario either, right? Now scenario number 4 is the best scenario. Scenario number 4, I use the Breathe, I love it. And then I ask you how much it is. We do the wholesale versus retail versus kit thing. And then they say, no. Can we just sit down and I'm going to tell you all my goals and then you can tell me what kit to get? Who's had that happen to them? No? Yeah. Or they just buy a kit? You guys have had people you sample and they buy a kit, right?
Yeah.
Is it because they scheduled their own appointment? Like, is that what actually ended up happening? So did they buy the kit because of the samples? Or did they buy the kit because of the appointment?
The appointment.
Yeah. So if you were to sample 10 people, how many would buy a kit?
1, maybe 2.
1, maybe 2. So we have what's called, and that's typically the response that we get. Would you guys say that's pretty accurate? Okay. Now I'm going to be really mean here. How much does it cost to mail a sample?
$267.
Okay. 267 times 10 is how much? $27. 1 enrollment of family physician kit is how much? How much money did I make off sampling?
0.
Oh, I lost money. Oh no. It's because of the 20-60-20 rule. And this is a sales concept. So here's the rule. 20% of people will buy no matter what. 20% of people will not buy no matter what. Okay, so the 20% of people, you guys know who those people are, right? You knew when you started, these guys are going to love this stuff. They're going to buy it. Right? Where we could attach an order form to your dog and have it run around and those people would fill it out. Sounds like fun. Right? They'll buy no matter what. 20% will not buy no matter what. These are the guys that needle you on the science. They're not going to buy either way. The other 60% is up to you. A 60% in the middle. And that's what we train you on. Okay, so you will have people that will buy no matter what. We're focusing on that 60%. And so that's why our students make sales on 60 to 80% of their students. What do you guys think so far?
It's outstanding.
You think this would help?
It all makes sense.
Cool. All right. That's tip number 1. We have 4 more. Okay, so tip number 2. Does anybody have any questions about tip number 1 before we move on? Okay. You guys are good students, so we're a few minutes ahead on time. So
I guess one question would be if you were in that conversation of setting up the appointment and they asked for a sample.
Yeah, that would be your decision. But I would definitely get the appointment. So it'd be like, yeah, sure. But it's probably not going to make a lot of sense. So usually what I do is set up an appointment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, customers, they want to make a good decision, right? So when you offer that to them, they're like, that's so helpful. But remember, most people make their decisions based on their prior experiences. So how many network marketers have you talked to that say, usually what I do is set up an appointment? None, right? What do most people do? Right? Here's a sample. And so customers have now been conditioned that that is the buying process. No customer will come to you, Michelle, and say, do you think you could set up an appointment with me and go over my personal goals? Now, isn't that what you want to do? Totally. But no customer knows that, right? The number one reason you're not setting up appointments is because customers don't know you set up appointments, right? Because they think the buying process is send me information and I'll look over it. Send me a sample and I'll check it out. They think that's the first next step. Right? It's kind of like there's this Indian food restaurant. So because I'm Indian, but there's a certain dish that my kids like, right? And I was like, man, I got to drive down there and get it. So I went to go look up the phone number, and I didn't know they deliver. I would have been buying that for my daughter like every week, right? If I would have known that, it would have changed the game. And so I think that customers operate from this place of not knowing. And that's why a lot of times, they'll ask for stuff like that. Or they've just been accustomed to other people giving them free stuff.
So would you suggest then like almost not advertising, but like putting it out there that like I'm looking to set up an appointment to discuss your health goals or something like that, rather than like, I have products that can help with this issue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we're big fans of personalization. So we're not post on Facebook people, we will recommend that you just actually love the people you love, right? And reach out to them and just say, I have this business. I've been doing it for a while. I've kind of been throwing spaghetti on the wall. I can't speak for you personally, just some of our students. And I'm trying something new that I think might be more helpful for you. What I'm doing right now is scheduling an appointment, yada, yada, yada. Is that something?
Okay.
And not everyone, some of them you just won't get responses from, right? Because you've already advertised, I sell the stuff, right? So they kind of have walls up, but some people will be like, yeah, that would actually be really helpful because I have no idea what this is.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that would be helpful. Like for new builders, we recommend not necessarily advertising because then that taints your good, what we call good human outreach. Right? So if I put up a billboard that says, I'm selling this stuff, and now I call my friend, I haven't talked to you in a while, how are you? They're like, right? But you're actually a good person, and you actually are like, this is cool. I have this job now where I get to connect with people that I love and I care about as part of my job. Isn't that the best part of network marketing? Some of you guys are like, no, that's the worst part. No, but truly, isn't the best part that you get to connect with people that you love and care about? You would not have been able to call otherwise. Mm-hmm. But you can't present that if you've put up your billboard. Right, makes it a little bit harder. Does that help, Michelle?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Cool.
So it's probably easy to believe that a lot of us have put up billboards, right?
Yeah.
So how do we recover? Because you can't necessarily go take the billboard down, right? Everybody knows.
Yeah. I think just acknowledging it.
Like you said, I've been throwing spaghetti on the wall. I'm silly, and
yeah, obviously this doesn't work so well. I'm the worst. We're big fans of saying stuff like I'm the worst because it just gets you to laugh, right? If I called you, Ted, and said, it's your oil rep who hasn't called you in 8 months since you ordered. I'm sorry, I'm the worst. How would you respond?
I'd be like, no, Tasha, you're great.
You're fine. Yeah. I haven't opened them anyways.
So one of the things I have a challenge with is a lot of people seem to be allergic to this. No matter how hard you try. Do we keep trying to do this or do text or email or what? What's?
Yeah, I would say both. I would make a phone call and a text. We want to be different than other people. We want to actually care. Right? Who gets random Facebook messages from people all the time? Right? Like, what if someone actually called you? Now, you might not pick up the phone, but would it still be interesting?
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to be. We're trying to be different, right? So for Rachel, who's like, no, I don't want the phone call, you said a follow-up text also. You do both. But it would be different. It would send a different message. Like, I actually care enough to call you. Because why do we hate the salesy people? Salesy people are trying to make quick sales, and they don't care. By actually saying, even to someone like Rachel, who will never pick up a phone call probably based on the way she responded to when I said that, and will never call someone back nor listen to the voicemail.
It just turns me off big time when people call me and they don't know me at all. And
we're talking about people you know or recommendations.
That's good. Okay.
You wouldn't call a random person. Yeah. Right, but like if I was, and this is kind of going off topic, so we probably should move. But if I were to call you and leave you a message like, hey, I was talking to your friend Ted, and he said that you were really nice, you might want to learn about this stuff, usually what I do, right? It would be different. It would be honest. It would be sincere. It would be truthful, and it would show I actually care enough to call. That's what we're trying to represent. Because who here is actually cares? What? All of you? Hopefully all of you. Okay. Who here started because you actually wanted to help people? This is why I love doTERRA. So what if we represented that? Right? When we flash, buy today, get a free diffuser, does that represent I actually care about people? Or does that represent hurry up and buy something real quick?
It's like BOGO week right there.
Yeah. So BOGO week, what we do is we say, here's the BOGO. Usually what I do is, and our students enrolled like mad people that week. Everyone who bought a BOGO got an appointment. And everyone who got an appointment added their BOGO to their enrollment order. So our students got 6 enrollments during BOGO week. See the difference? So we actually helped the people. Okay, so let's go to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to give an agenda. So now we're in either the one-on-one or the class. Okay? We're in the one-on-one. And all we're going to do is we're going to repeat the same agenda that we said when we scheduled the appointment. So today we're going to go over your health goals or concerns, most popular kits, a little bit about the company. My part take about half an hour. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, of course, I'll help you order it today. So there's one adjustment in there, and that's the word today. Right? So we're setting an expectation. Why do you think giving the agenda is so important?
Well, you're telling people what you're going to tell them.
It's setting an expectation
Yeah. How does it make customers feel, do you think?
that their time is valuable.
Yep. Maybe removes the pressure. Right? Increase trust. Now, funny things happens when you say you don't have to buy anything. They're like, don't you tell me what to do. I will buy something. And then when you say, if you see something you like, of course I'll help you order it today. Did you notice all of you nodded your heads? And now your customer is making a running list of all the things that they like, that they would like to order today. Right? Because that's a fair expectation, isn't it? What customer would say, that sounds fair. I don't have to buy anything, but if I see something I like, I'll order it today. So now I'm going to keep a running list of all the things I like. What a great way to start your appointment or your class. Okay, how does that one sound? Good on tip number 2? This one's pretty simple. Okay, great. Number 3 is to gain input. Do customers spend $300 because of your story?
No.
Whose story do they spend $300 because of?
Their story.
But what do we do?
We tell our story.
Yeah. So what happens when we tell our story to their face?
If they can't relate, they aren't paying attention.
Yeah. When are we done? When are you done talking so we can talk about my favorite topic, me?
Yeah.
Right? Because who do they want to talk about?
Themselves.
Them. So there's a few problems with telling your story. Okay, Jamie hit it on the first. It only matters if it's their story, right? So I'm going to give you an example. I just want you to receive this as a customer. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way. I just need you to understand how customers think. Is that fair? Okay. So do some of you guys have an awesome, amazing, life-changing, transforming essential oil story? No? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So so there's a couple things. Some people that don't feel intimidated. So you're gonna love this approach because you don't need to tell your story, Trisha. You'll be good. You'll be able to sell lots of stuff without feeling that pressure for a story. But if you have a great story, here's what happens. So I have a customer who basically kicked fibromyalgia's butt. You guys have heard those stories with LLV? So I want you to receive this as a customer who doesn't know anything about essential oils. Guys, I took these vitamins and they totally got rid of my fibromyalgia in 3 weeks. What's going through your mind?
I don't even really know what fibromyalgia is.
Okay, I can't relate. What else is going through your mind?
I'd have to see it to believe it type of thing.
Yeah, so what do I need to do? I need to research?
Research it.
Oh my gosh, guys. Whose fault is it that they want to research?
Yours.
Yours.
Or they might just say, I don't have something that serious, I'm pretty healthy. So the people with the best stories get the most objections. What do you think? Does that make sense or not? Do you see that trend? The more you tell your story, the more objections you get, and you're trying to figure out what the heck happened. Right? It's because the more phenomenal the story, it causes skepticism. Because it feels too good to be true. I mean, don't you feel that? Those of you who have amazing stories, you're like, how did this even happen to me? This is so crazy. And we tell the customer's like, that sounds crazy. So whose story should we talk about in our class or our one-on-one?
Theirs. Their problems.
Theirs. That's it. Okay. So we're going to do the agenda, right? That's going to be like, 45 seconds. And then we're going to ask these 3 questions. First question is, what else do you want to go over? Second question is, well, do you guys want to bore them with information you don't care about? They don't care about? No. Okay, so let's just tell them that. I don't want to bore you with information you don't care about. So tell me about your health goals or concerns. And then third question is, what do you already know about doTERRA? Okay, so I'm just gonna, I just need someone to pretend to be my customer. And I'm just gonna kind of go through it with you so you can see how it feels or sounds.
I'll do it.
Okay, cool. All right, Stacy, be easy on me with your health goals because I'm a sales trainer, not an essential oils expert.
Not a problem. I'm a beginner on this one too, so.
Okay, cool. So you can just cover your own situation. Okay. Well, before we get into that. Okay. So I'm going to ask you the questions. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. So today we're going to go over your health goals, a little bit about the company and the most popular kits. My part takes about half an hour. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, of course, I'll help you order it.
Okay.
Today. What else do you want to go over today?
I'd like to go over some stuff and how I can use it around the house. I'm not necessarily sure if any of these oils will help my medical problems.
Okay. Great. So we'll make sure to cover that. I don't really want to bore you with information you don't care about, Stacy. So I know you said you're not sure about medical problems, but maybe you could just humor me and share with me some of your health goals or concerns.
Sure. I've got asthma. I've been on this long medication for about 18 years. So I'm not 100% sure that, any oil that I could have would cure that since I take this medication daily. And I also have a thyroid problem.
Did you mean by thyroid, you meant allergies?
Thyroid, like thyroid.
Oh, but you meant allergies because I don't know anything about thyroids.
Oh, sure. Allergies. Major allergies. Actually, I do have allergies.
Not perfect, but.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wrote down asthma and allergies. What else?
My kids get sick every time they see somebody that's sick. They get sick.
Okay, how old are your kids, Stacy?
They're 17 and 13.
Okay. What else?
I'd like to probably use them to lose some weight, maybe.
Okay. What else?
I think that's enough to get you started.
Okay, sounds good. So here's what I wrote down. Asthma, allergies, you have teenagers, 2 teenagers. So them getting sick and maybe losing some weight.
Yes.
Okay. Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay. And what do you already know about doTERRA, Stacy?
Currently I don't know much. I just know it's an essential oil. Isn't that kind of like voodoo stuff or whatever?
Yeah. We call them magic potions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about doTERRA.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll pause. How did that feel, Stacy?
Easy.
Was it weird when I asked you what else?
Kinda.
Okay. Let me tell you why. When was the last time anyone asked you guys what else? Okay. So I want you to imagine this scenario. You've had your day, your love of your life, your husband comes to you and says, "How was your day, sweetie?" And you start to tell him about your day. I'm sure this happens all the time for you guys, right, Jamie? And then your husband says, "That is fascinating. What else? Tell me more." Does that happen to you guys? No, never. Jamie's like, No, because most people don't do that. So what kind of message would you send if you did?
That you're really listening and you really care.
And is that the message we want to send?
Like you don't have your own agenda that you're trying to jump to.
Yeah. Now, would it have changed the atmosphere if I was like, dude, Stacy, ProAir, Singulair, I got it all. I have asthma too.
Yeah.
Right? Let's make a list. If I would have stopped her and said, oh my gosh, do you use this, this, and this? Would that have changed the atmosphere? What message would that have sent her?
I don't know. I would have taken it as you're more relatable to me because you can relate on the condition that I have. And
Sure.
I'll respond a little bit more to what you're having to say because you actually know what you're talking about.
Sure. In this scenario, I think yes. But if I would have said, oh, I used this stuff and it totally got rid of my asthma, I would have cut you off, right?
Yeah.
And you would have shut down?
Probably, yeah.
Right. Now, I'm still going to tell you, I get it. But do I have to do it there?
No.
Right? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So watch. So now, we're going to gain input. How do you guys feel about that? Was that hard to do? Do you guys think you could do it? Those questions?
Well, I feel like a lot of times when I ask that, people don't have anything they want to tell me. They say, I'm pretty healthy.
Okay. Have you told your story beforehand?
Maybe.
They might be contexting against your story.
Okay.
So if you kind of set the bar, or here's what essential oils are good for, then they're going to bump their situation up above that, right? So like if you're thinking about Stacy's situation, she's had asthma for 18 years, right? And maybe I talked to Kristen, who has never had asthma. She might respond with, oh, I mean, I don't really have anything that bad, right? But Kristen, do your kids sleep?
Mine?
Yeah.
Not lately.
Do they walk in and lay on the ground in your office and scream for no reason?
Sometimes.
Right. So does Kristen have things? Do they use Sharpies and write on your stuff? I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So even though Kristen doesn't have a health condition, does that mean, Kristen, have your kids ever gotten the flu?
Yes.
Okay. So we want to just make sure we're not loading the conversation. Sometimes that's what'll happen. I don't know. What do you think? It's possible. I think try it a couple times, especially with the agenda will help, and explaining why you're asking. So that's why we put that buffer in, like, I don't want to bore you with information you don't care about. Here's why I'm asking you about your health concerns, or I want to personalize this presentation to you. So here I'm asking for this is the reason I'm asking. Right? If you set up the appointment with, when we have our appointment, we're going to talk about your health goals and concerns, they're expecting the conversation. So a lot of these little, we call it the sales assembly line, all these pieces fit together. If you miss one piece of the sales of an assembly line, the rest gets broken, right? So these are all like little pieces of the assembly line that might be affecting that impact, Emma. And then 1 out of 10 is just going to be a pain. Right? Remember, 2 out of 10 are not going to buy no matter what?
Right.
So it could be just one of those people. Yeah. But if we're only doing 1 or 2 appointments a month, we won't know. It'll take us 6 months to get to 10 to know if that person was just the 2 that wouldn't buy or one that we could have impacted. So it could be any of those reasons. So hopefully that helps.
Tasha, I see the same thing with the business. So I've had business overviews and I start with my story. And then I'll be like, okay, now what do you want? And they'll be like, well, I don't want to retire my husband. I'm not in it for the money. And it kind of like, it turns them off. And so I can see how this would apply to the business as well.
Yep. There's a great quote by Zig Ziglar. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So let's pause on all the things we know and let's demonstrate how much we care about them. Right? And so your story does matter. I'm not saying never tell it. Sometimes people say, Tasha, you said never tell the story. I never said that. I said, do people buy because of your story? Right? Do people sign up for the business because of your story? Maybe it adds credibility. But who's the hero of their story? They are. So let's remove the risk and let's just focus on them. Okay, and some of these things we'll do in point 4. Okay, so point 4, tip 4, whatever, is personalize the features and benefits of the Home Essentials Kit. Okay, so Stacey, play along with me? Okay, cool. All right, so let me tell you what comes in our most popular kits. The first oil in your kit is lemon. Do you ever get that gross stuff in the back of your throat?
Yes.
Okay, so put a drop of lemon in your green tea, and that'll clear that right up.
Oh, cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, it's also good for like just cleansing in general. So by having some lemon water in the morning, that will typically help with weight loss if it's the first thing that you drink.
Okay. Didn't know that. Thanks.
Now, do your kids, like they're in high school, do they ever get like gunky stuff on your table from like their school projects or Sharpie or stuff like that?
Oh, yes, all the time.
Okay, so this lemon, this will work for that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The next oil in your kit is lavender. Now, if you have a 13 and a 17-year-old, do you ever lose sleep at night?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So lavender, this will help you to be less anxious, help you calm down. It'll also like just help you to sleep better. So you could run it through the diffuser or put it on your feet. And so that way, if you're stressed out about whatever's going on in their lives, or maybe you probably never had an argument with them.
Oh, no, never.
So if you did, this might help you to calm down. Now, I also noticed that you might be more prone to sunburns than I am. So lavender, this will work for that.
Oh, okay. How does lavender work for that?
That's not what you're supposed to say.
Cool, thanks.
Why didn't anybody warn me? The next oil in your kit is peppermint. So you mentioned that you're going to try to lose weight, right?
Yes.
You ever try to work out in the morning?
No, not too much. Yes, I do. All the time. I'm a junkie.
No. Well, it's hard, right? Like, I said, do you try to work out?
Oh, yes, I try. Too tired, you know. Today I put my coffee creamer lid in my coffee instead of the creamer. So, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so when your alarm goes off and you're supposed to work out, right? Instead of hitting the snooze, just put your bottle of peppermint right there and put one drop in your hands, take 3 big whiffs, and it'll open up your airways. It'll make you more alert, and you might actually go and do your workout.
Oh, that sounds refreshing.
It is. It's also great to open up your lungs. I know you mentioned that you had asthma.
Yes.
So this can support whatever else that you have going on to give you that little extra kick, especially first thing in the morning. My asthma is really bad first thing in the morning. Okay. You like to watch the trainer squirm, huh?
Oh,
okay,
no.
So we'll go ahead and pause. So how did that feel in all seriousness?
Good. Actually, for me, this is good because I haven't been able to do classes yet. I'm a newbie at all this, so this is actually really helping a lot.
Cool. I'm glad. What did you guys think?
So why did you pick Home Essentials Kit?
Because it's the easiest to sell. What kit should I have chosen?
Natural Solutions?
Yeah, well, because you guys aren't that good yet.
Thank you.
So what we recommend is to get to at least a 60% closing percentage and then move up a kit. So the whole point is we want to make it simple, right? How many products are in the Natural Solutions kit?
12 oils, LLV, shampoo, conditioner.
Are those easy to sell?
No.
Okay, so what's our goal? Remember, what is our initial goal? What did I beg you as a customer?
So you a kit.
Sell me a kit. So if you start with Natural Solutions and you don't understand how to simplify the Natural Solutions kit, what will I walk away with?
Nothing.
Okay, so we recommend, and this is tip number 5, is to give a choice of 2 kits. So I'll cover that. So we'll kind of cover these 2 together. But before we get into Natural Solutions, I want to just talk a little bit about personalization. Now, I didn't give a lot of examples on how I used the kit. But did that matter so much? And why not?
Because you're making it all about them, which is your focus.
Yeah. Anyone notice how long it took me to explain those things? Because earlier, who was skeptical about my 30 minutes? Okay. How long did it take me to explain 1/3 of the Home Essentials kit?
About 3.
It's about 2 minutes, right? So, could I explain all 10 oils in less than 10 minutes? Now, Stacy, did you feel overwhelmed when I was talking to you?
No, not at all.
Now, remember, my purpose is not to educate them. What is my goal? Are they going to remember everything I say anyway?
Probably none of it.
And what's on the inside flap of my Family Essentials kit? Who knows? You guys don't even know. It's all the uses,
Oh, I didn't know that.
right? And with the Home Essentials, you give them an A to Z and they're good to go, right? On the inside flap of the Home Essentials kit, it is all the uses. So do I need to be educated on the product? If I have the kit, I have the education. I know what to use it for. So what do I need? I need the kit. Okay, so my goal is simply to connect the dots. All I want to do is make sure Stacy knows how she will use it. Right? And as soon as, after every oil, she nodded her head, and then I just moved to the next.
You don't go off of a care pad or talk about the 3 main uses, diffusing, topical, aromatic. Like, you don't have a structure like that. You just
you need to cover how to use it, right? So these are just concepts, right? This isn't the full, the whole thing. No, we don't promote tear pads. Because if they're looking at a tear pad, what are they not doing?
Looking at you.
And who are you talking about? Them. Does tear pad talk about them? Why do people buy? Because of the information on the tear pad, or do they buy because of them?
Because of them.
So what should they be paying attention to?
Themselves.
Right. And who's talking about them? You. And if they're looking at the tear pad, are they listening to you?
No.
So does the tear pad increase your closing percentage or decrease it?
Decrease.
That's all I've ever used, so it has to be great.
Even for a class, you wouldn't use tear pads then?
I wouldn't. Because then it's just more things for them to take home and think about.
Huh.
Good point.
Very good point.
Right? We have seen only increases in closing percentage without materials.
So, I mean, do you even just the drill on the handout part? Do you ever even give them a handout of the list of the oils in the Home Essentials kit, or you just kind of,
we recommend just like a blank notepad if they want to write something down. If they want to jot something down that they think about so they can take notes.
Are they smelling the oils while you talk about them?
I'll hold that question. I'll get to that in a moment. I'm going to write that down as reasons people don't buy. Okay.
Like when you
All right.
Yeah, can we get a redo on our business?
Sorry. Okay, so let's go to tip number 5. We'll wrap up, and I'll answer the smelling question. Deal? Okay. So tip number 5, choice of 2 kits. I want you guys to think you're a customer. You've never heard of essential oils. Okay, you just explained essential oils, and I hand you the enrollment kit flyer sheet. Enrollment kit flyer sheet. How do you feel? Go ahead, Emma. How do you feel?
Oh, overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Totally overwhelmed.
And so you probably be thinking, I don't want to make a bad decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who should I talk to?
Spouse.
So when they want to talk to the spouse, whose fault is that? Now, when you ask your toddler what they want to eat, do you ask them what they want to eat? What do you do?
Yeah, 2 choices.
And we know that works. So why don't we do that for customers? Right? Here's your choices. You want big bottles or small bottles? Is that a hard decision? Rachel, we just recommend the customers don't have sheets. You are definitely reading from an outline. You guys see me looking at my notes the whole time, yeah?
So one of my questions would be, so say I presented them the two kit options, they enroll, they're all excited, and then later they're like, wait a minute, how come you didn't tell me there was this, or this kit that they would have purchased?
That's just something you're going to need to develop through your skill set. I'm not saying you have to choose the home essentials and the family essentials as your 2 kits. I'm just saying you need to know what your skill level is.
Okay, cool.
Right? So truthfully, like when I sold knives, I sold the 2000 and the 1600 to start because I'm not afraid of no. I'm not afraid of dropping down. I know exactly how to do it. Right? So if that is your confidence level and your 2 kits, your 2 choices would be the top, and then you know exactly how to move to find something they're comfortable with. But if you don't have experience in sales, experience in closing, if your closing percentage is less than 60%, you likely don't have those skills. So we want to just make sure you do well. Right? Because if you do 10 appointments, you present natural solutions and you don't know how to do those things, you might sell 1 natural solutions out of 10 appointments and nothing else. So what's better for your entire customer base? 7 family essentials out of 10 or 1 natural solutions?
The 7.
Right. And then as you get better and better, we want to move up and present more comprehensive options. I'm totally with you. Right? We just need to make sure we don't freak them out. Right? And so if you sell great natural solutions, right, everybody here's in a different place, right? These are concepts for closing, not here's exactly what you have to do, right? The concepts for closing are this, and you can apply it to however you want. Set an appointment, give an agenda, learn about them, personalize the features and benefit. No one cares about the Swiss Army knife. That's not why they buy it. They buy it because they see themselves using it. Right? If they don't see themselves using it, you just need to tell them the truth. Hey, this one might not be one you use every day, like this oregano you might not use every day, but you'll be really glad you have it when you're puking. Right? This Digestin, not one you're going to use every single day, but you're really glad you have it when you eat half a pizza on day 9. Right? Are you going to buy the Digestin? Yeah. Because I'm telling you, here is how you're going to use it. Not here's how I use it, not here's how hypothetical people in the world use it. Specifically, this is how you're going to use it. And you have common scenarios that work for everybody, right? In my pizza analogy, most of you guys laughed. And we're like, I totally get that. So use common scenarios, right? Choice of 2. That's the concept. Don't overwhelm them with choices. So pick whatever 2 kits make sense to you. Does that help, Michelle? So these are big picture concepts.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
Cool. Good. Good questions. All right. So before we wrap up, you're going to let me still sell this. You're not all going to log off and not let me sell my course though, right? If I answer these questions. Deal?
Can you talk about the smelling the oils part?
Yeah, totally. Okay. So I just showed you the overview. So earlier we talked about all the reasons customers don't buy, right? Okay, so let's see if they still hold up. Ready? Okay, did you guys feel you couldn't afford the kit? Okay, and if you couldn't afford it, I would just showed you like the intro, the travel kit, find something you're comfortable with, you buy it that day, right? No big deal. Okay, were you worried that it wasn't gonna work? Now, Stacy did ask me about the lavender, not fair, but were you skeptical? I didn't give you crazy things. I gave you softballs, right? So you're like, okay, that makes sense. Were you worried about our relationship? Doing business with friends. Okay. Did you feel like you needed to ask your husband's permission or get his input? Did you feel that you didn't have time to learn how to use the product?
No.
Were you not interested? Did you feel like I was going to make you sell the stuff? Did I come across as a network marketer? Did you feel like you had to think about it? Did you want to do research? No. Were you overwhelmed? And did you feel a need to smell the oil? Because are you buying smell or are you buying sleep? What are you buying?
Buying things that's going to help me.
Yeah, do you care how it smells?
Not necessarily at that moment in time, no.
Sorry, guys, for breaking your brain. Okay, what am I buying? If you're selling smell, right, I could buy a Glade plug-in. I know, toxic. Right? But I'm not buying the smell. And have you guys ever had someone say, I don't like the smell? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me every day for my career, shame on me. Why would you open yourself up to a concern? Right? Like, so in the last webinar, we were talking about oregano and digestin, PU, right? Why would you pass those around? All it's going to do is create a concern. Sorry, Jamie.
This totally makes sense though, because if you are like, I can't sleep, so I'm going to go to the drugstore and I'm going to look at the shelf, you're not sampling, you're going to be like, I need sleep, so let's try this. And you buy it.
Right.
I would say my like best enrollments, they tend to come like from Instagram, and it's someone that's like, what do I do for sleep? And I tell them, and then they never even smell it or sample it.
Right.
And they tend to just enroll because they're so desperate in that
right.
moment.
Because they're buying sleep, not the smell.
Yeah.
And when you position doTERRA as smell, you are commoditizing doTERRA. doTERRA is not a commodity. It's not a candle. It's not leggings. It's freaking like life-changing health products. So you must position them as such. Right? And so and here's the other thing. You're running a class, Jamie. Okay, so you're passing around all the bottles. Okay, so let's say the first thing we do lemon, lavender, peppermint. Those are the first three. Okay, so the bottle of lemon's going around and it hits the fourth person. They're smelling lemon, and what am I talking about?
Lavender.
So they have to choose. Am I paying attention to the lemon I'm smelling? Am I paying attention to the lavender she's talking about? So now they're missing the info. Right? Worst, you pass around the oregano and they're like, ew, ew. Right? So, I mean, if you're in person, yeah, peppermint, that's a game changer, isn't it? Take 3 bottles of peppermint, right? Teach them how to smell it properly. And then the rest of it is, it's going to help you with this, it's going to help you with this, it's going to help you with this, it's going to help you with this. Right? And the amazing thing is, guys, if you don't need to smell it, doesn't that open up all the people you can do Zoom appointments with? And I think we would probably argue what Jamie said is higher closing percentage without smelling. Now, I don't have stats on that, so I'm not willing to like actually put it through, but what I will feel comfortable saying is we see no statistical significance between in-person or phone. I don't have great enough data. We'd have to really start pressing some numbers to say more. My gut tells me better, and faster, right?
That's how I enrolled, was through a Facebook class. I didn't even smell any of the oils. It was just, I was fascinated about making a change and getting off of medicine versus something more natural.
Totally. Right? And when we look at the reasons people buy, if they buy because of smell, they're not buying for the right reason.
Sure. That's a good point.
Right? If I'm like, this lavender smells amazing. Now, can you context it up against like some other essential oil to show potency? Sure. But is that what makes the sale? Right? That we're talking about potency. We're not talking about actual smell. So, does that help, Jamie?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, now can I show you the course?
Please.
So this is an hour's worth of our training, just to give you an idea. All right, so you might be very, very, very sad that the training is about to be over. And so we're just going to quote Barney from How I Met Your Mother. This is my awkward transition to closing that I promised you with a meme. When I'm sad, I stop being sad and I be awesome instead. So your next step, if you would like to, would be to learn all the foundational skills for selling and leading with support. So here's what makes Emerge different. It's not what works for me. I'm not a network marketer that makes $1 million a month based on my strengths and my personality. This is just what works. It works for people who have never sold anything in their life. It just works. Whether you're selling knives, whether you're selling opportunities, whether you're selling oils, whether you're selling shakes, it just works. It's founded in science and social science and customer psychology. So this is, like academically sound sales training. We're actually here for you. So we do everything with life components. We are not selling a passive income product to retire on an island and not do any work. We are a team of coaches whose mission and goal is to actually help. And it's built for people with no sales experience. So if you've never sold anything, you're good. And if you are an amazing salesperson, but you cannot figure out why your team cannot sell, it's probably because you're too competent. You don't know how to explain it. So we'll break it down so you can explain it to your team and train your team. It's an 8-week course. Who feels crazy? You guys feel crazy? Like, what do I even do? What are even my goals? Who am I supposed to call? So the first week is around stop feeling crazy. So this is about how to set clear and concrete goals, how to know exactly what you're trying to, what's working and what's not working in your business, making better business decisions, goal setting and such. Second week is all about setting up appointments. So how to set up first appointments, second appointments, how to increase show rate, things like that. Today I taught you 4 big picture concepts of the sales presentation. In weeks 3 and 4, we break it down line by line so that you can craft your own that makes sense for you. And it's going to include every single component, at least that high quality sales presentation. Referrals. Who here has ever felt like I don't have enough people to call? And the rest are lying, right? Or people on your team, right? So there was this trick that us Cutco kids would do to get as many leads as we wanted. And so we're going to teach you how to generate referrals. Our goal is to get at least 5 referrals from each customer. We're going to teach you how to do that. We're also going to teach you some more effective verbiage for making it easy for hostesses to say yes. So that way you don't have lead generation issues anymore. Customer retention, so we'll teach you our version of the wellness consult, which we call the wish list appointment, so that customers are equipped and they're buying. How to explain products and promotions so that customers care and actually buy it, and just some other things about customer retention that will be helpful for you. Then you'll need to learn how to apply all these concepts into recruiting. So as Jamie mentioned earlier, do you apply this strategy to recruiting? 100% you do. So we'll teach you how to do that. And then you're going to have to train and develop your team. So we're going to teach you some basics on how to do that. And so it's an 8-week program, so it's comprehensive. We also have live group coaching. So we have a couple of options. We have a group starting this Wednesday that you can still get in if you'd like to start right away. And we also have one on the 4th. So these are the times for that. So basically how the group component works is all those modules I just talked about, 8 weeks. So those are about 45 minutes. So you would watch the online class, and then at group coaching, I don't teach all the groups. We'll get to that in a moment. So these will be taught by one of our coaches, Joelle. And she will go through all the trouble. Like, you guys had a lot of questions today, right? So you'd be super bummed if this was just a video you watched, huh? So we don't do that. So you'll be able to ask those questions in the Facebook group. Our coaches hop in at least twice each week to Facebook Live on all the questions, and we cover them in live group coaching so that everyone can benefit. All the group coaching, everything is recorded, so that's not something that you need to worry about. And now you're freaking out because this sounds awesome, because the other courses you've taken just with online stuff are $500. Saved by the Bell fans, anyone? All right. So we want to make sure, our mission is to make sure that high quality training is available to people of all ranks, okay? Not just the people who are already making tons of money. So the entire program, online course plus group coaching for 9 weeks, $297. If you want to split it up into 4 payments with no interest, so 4 times 75 is 300. I mean, it's just the dollar because the math. But that's 4 monthly payments. I think we usually get that question. So yeah, so you only need to sell $1,500 in order to recoup your investment on this program, which we feel pretty good. I mean, you guys already feel like over the span of 8 weeks, you can enroll 1 or 2 people a month just with the free stuff. So I want you to consider all the other things, what that would do to your business. And so the link to register, and I think Kristen's going to put that in. I have a couple more things to show you before you register. It's just emergesalstraining.com/TED, and I'll show you that in a minute. We want to give you a fast action bonus because we recommend you do this for your customers. So if you would like the scripts on how to sell Natural Solutions Kit, Lifelong Vitality, and how to close on big classes, if you register by Wednesday and use the code TED, and you pay in full because we have to pay our coaches, so there's some incentive to pay in full versus payment plans. We're totally cool with the payment plans, but here's the incentive if you pay in full and you act fast. We will give you that $60 course for free. Now, Ted earlier mentioned, hold this replay for your team. So if you are watching this replay for your team, the emergesalstraining.com/TED, it's going to stay active. You can use it for whatever you want, but those groups won't be there. So if you're watching this replay, just go to emergesalstraining.com/upcoming-events, and you will find the first available group. Frequently asked questions. When can I start watching the videos? As soon as you purchase the course. So the videos are available. So if you click and you buy the course now, you can start watching right away. You'll have access as soon as you pay for the course in full. You'll have access to the course forever. So it's not just the 9 weeks. So if something happens in the 9 weeks, no worries. You'll have plenty of time to watch the recordings and watch the modules and to go back to the modules, right? If you can't make it live, everything is recording. Also, if you really hate people and you don't want to ask questions and you don't want to come live, we do have an online only option. If you watch the first 4 weeks of the program in the first 30 days and you use the stuff and you feel like it's not worth it, we will guarantee you. We will refund you. We do not do affiliate programs. Ted, how much money are you earning for promoting this?
I am making so much that it's actually nothing.
That's nothing. And we do ask our leaders get literally zero benefit for promoting this. We do this for 2 reasons. First, if we're not advertising, then we get to keep the cost where it is, right? Second, we want our leaders to stay within integrity. So our leaders, they pay for the program, and if they promote the program, it's just to help you guys. There's no affiliate program involved. That also means don't ask me if there's an affiliate program involved. What else do I need to buy? What else do I need to buy to implement this program? That's a fair question, right? Pay $300 for the program, but what else? You don't have to buy anything else to implement this program. So we do recommend profit and loss software because that's good to have. We do recommend you do a profit and loss. We have modules on that. But it's not required to complete the program. We do also recommend that you have some sort of incentive for people that buy that day or bribe for referrals. But our goal is to increase your profit. So we recommend, those are going to be things you already have usually, or they're really low cost, but you don't have to do them. Is Tasha teaching the group? No. So I wish I could teach. We run, what are we at? By next week, we'll be running 10 concurrent groups. There's literally no way I could do it. My goal is to focus on one-on-one coaching and to be able to do these webinars so you can ask questions. And so that keeps me pretty busy. So, but we do have an amazing team of coaches who've been personally coached by me for a long time. And they are amazing, and they're accessible, and they are top-notch, and you'll be very happy with them. So, yeah, those are all, I feel like I tried to cover all the things you would ask. So here's the link. So let me just show you. So this site will be up. By the morning, the replay will be there. So do you see this empty spot right here? That's the replay is going to be there. So you can keep this link forever, right? And it'll be active, right? It'll go through all the different things that are included in the course, right? As you scroll down, right? Here's all the modules, right? And if you click on the enroll, so this is the I don't want to talk to anybody course. This is the group coaching, which we really recommend. Our completion rates are really high in this program. So it'll kick you down to the bottom. You'll be able to pick which one you want. So let's say I want to do this one. Oh, you know what? I'm logged in as admin, so it's, try this again. Bad example. Sorry.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
If my husband and I wanted to both go through it, should we sign up? Should we enroll separately and pay separately?
Oh, we were just talking about this today. Okay. As of right now, we will comp husbands, but if he screws up my completion rates, I'm accountable.
Okay.
We were literally just looking at completion rates, and our husbands are sucking.
Okay.
So we'll give you the husband if you can help us with our completion rate.
Okay. So make sure he completes it.
Yeah, I think it's important to make sure that they actually want to do it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, at this juncture, we're comping spouses.
Okay.
Because really, they're just going to use the login anyway. Mm-hmm. But all we'll ask is to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair?
Fair.
Okay, cool. All right, so then you'll get to this thing. I'm going to just already have an account. So just get yours and then just email the team at Emerge Sales Training, and they'll help you with your spouse. So Ted, you got to pony up. I know Jamie's going to do it. You got to make sure to finish your modules.
I'll do what I can.
Okay. I just want to show you guys where to put the code because that always trips people up. So you'll get here, right? And then just where it says have a coupon, just put in TED. And that'll just take off $1. It's not the $1. It's just more us knowing that you got the fast action bonus and that you're on Ted's team. Because then what we'll do is we'll let Ted know who on his team is enrolled. Right? And for the people that pay in full, they'll get the fast action bonus. So kind of the same thing. Even if you're doing the payment plan, still put in the TED, because at least we'll be able to let Ted know who on your team is enrolled. Just makes it a little bit easier.
Okay, Tasha, you're going to laugh. So this already convinced me, and I already paid, but totally missed the coupon code. So just an FYI, you're not going to see my name underneath the coupon code.
That's cool. Kristen, can you put Michelle Kelly? Can you bonus her? Yeah, I already saw it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kristen, what we'll do, so the doTERRA upgrade package that you'll get, don't watch it till you finish week 4.
Week 4? Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to make any sense. So you're going to be like, yay, natural solutions. but you're not going to understand the concepts that it's built on until you finish week 4. Okay? That being said, feel free to binge away. Some people go week by week, and some people just watch the whole thing in 2 days. It's like 6 hours of content total. So whatever your learning style is, just whatever. It's totally cool.
Perfect.
Any other questions? Thanks for giving me the extra time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tasha. This was pretty much a game changer for me and Jamie. We were serious on like, oh my gosh, can we get a redo here? So, yeah, this was outstanding. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Do you guys have any more questions about the course just that are coming up? No? Do you guys care which one Ted and Jamie are going to be in?
I thought about it and then I said, whatever, I'm just going to do it.
Which one did you do, Michelle?
The 22nd. Because I'm like, well, why wait a week and a half if I can start learning it now and implementing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Either's totally cool with us. And as a leader, sometimes people will ask, like, should I have my team with me or not? It doesn't matter, right? It's whenever your team does it, your team does it. Yeah, it doesn't. I prefer that the leader is at least 2 weeks ahead of their team. Like in a perfect environment. In this environment, right, I would stay with your team, Ted, but if you have people that start a little later, that's okay too, because you'll be able to answer questions better as well. So either's good. Cool. If you guys have any questions, you know where to find Kristen, I think, right? And me. So, yeah. I'm second manning that group, actually. I'm the recorder on the 8:30 group. If that helps anyone.
All right.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that thanks you guys for hanging with me on a long thing. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon, hopefully. Look forward to you guys getting some sales, even now, between then. Hopefully you can use some of the stuff you learned today.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for your participation. High five. Kits on dressers. All right. Take care.